At 75 years old, King Charles has made a shocking admission that leaves no room for speculation, confirming long-standing whispers and theories about his personal life and approach to the monarchy. This revelation seems to mark a turning point, as Charles confronts truths that have shadowed him for decades. What does this confession mean for the royal family, his legacy, and the future of the British throne? Let's delve into the surprising details of his journey and what he has just revealed. From the moment Charles was born on November 14, 1948, his destiny was shaped by the monarchy. As the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Charles was destined to one day inherit the crown. Yet, even as a young boy growing up under the gaze of a powerful monarch, he struggled with the weight of this responsibility. Unlike other children, his upbringing was steeped in royal traditions, constant public scrutiny, and an unyielding sense of duty. Charles was never the quintessential future king the public envisioned. As a child, he was introspective and sensitive, starkly contrasting with the assertive and charismatic leaders the British monarchy often celebrated. These traits persisted into adulthood, as Charles grappled with the enormous expectations placed upon him. From his unhappy school days at Gordonston to awkward public appearances as a young prince, it became clear that royal life weighed heavily on him. His interests in intellectual pursuits, art, and environmental advocacy set him apart from the traditional image of a prince, leaving many to question whether he was suited for the crown. As Queen Elizabeth's steadfast reign continued into her later years, comparisons between her and Charles grew harsher. The Queen's natural grace and strong leadership contrasted with Charles's reserved demeanor, fueling doubts about his readiness to lead a modern monarchy. Even within royal circles, whispers questioned whether he had the qualities needed to guide the institution into the future. Charles's awkwardness and avoidance of the spotlight were often interpreted as aloofness. Public scrutiny amplified these perceptions, with many perceiving him as disconnected from the lives of his future subjects. Charles's marriage to Lady Diana Spencer in 1981 brought both hope and turmoil. The grand ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral captivated the world, and Diana's elegance and compassion quickly endeared her to the public. Yet, behind closed doors, their relationship was fraught with tension. Their differing personalities and priorities created a rift. Diana's natural charm and relatability endeared her to millions, overshadowing Charles and casting him as distant and detached. The media magnified this contrast, portraying Diana as the compassionate people's princess and Charles as the cold and unfeeling future king. The couple's separation in 1992 and eventual divorce in 1996 revealed the extent of their struggles. Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles only deepened public resentment. Diana's candid 1995 interview with the BBC, in which she famously remarked, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Charles's reputation. Diana's untimely death in 1997 cemented her legacy as a global icon. Her compassion and humanity left an indelible mark, and the royal family faced backlash for their perceived lack of emotional response. For Charles, this period was particularly challenging, as public sentiment overwhelmingly favored Diana's memory, and he was often seen as the man who had wronged her. In the years following Diana's death, Charles struggled to reshape his public image. Yet he quietly continued to champion causes close to his heart, including environmental conservation and heritage preservation. These efforts, though admirable, often went unnoticed as Diana's shadow loomed large. Now, at 75, Charles seems to be reflecting on the past, particularly his relationship with Diana and its impact on the monarchy. His recent actions suggest a deeper understanding of the need for empathy and personal connection. qualities that Diana embodied. While the wounds of the past cannot be erased, Charles's more compassionate approach to his royal duties hints at lessons learned from Diana's enduring legacy. As the longest-serving heir apparent in British history, Charles's path to the throne was unprecedented. For over 70 years he lived in the shadow of Queen Elizabeth's reign, waiting for a role that seemed perpetually out of reach. This prolonged wait created frustration and left him feeling trapped in limbo. Public skepticism about his readiness to rule only grew as the Queen's reign extended well into her 90s. Some even speculated whether the throne would bypass Charles entirely in favor of his son, Prince William, whose youth and charisma resonated more with the public. Despite the doubts, Charles's years of preparation were not wasted. He used his time to advocate for progressive causes and modernize the monarchy in subtle but significant ways. Now, as king, he appears determined to face his challenges head-on, perhaps inspired by the lessons of his past. This recent admission suggests a shift in Charles's perspective, one that acknowledges his struggles, shortcomings, and the importance of connecting with the people he serves. Could this newfound self-awareness mark the beginning of a transformative era for the monarchy? Only time will tell, as Charles steps into his role with a renewed sense of purpose. For years, Charles worked to leave a mark on the world beyond traditional royal duties. His focus on environmentalism, architecture, and charitable work became central to his identity as the Prince of Wales, offering a deeper understanding of the man behind the title. Long before climate change became a global concern, Charles sounded the alarm about deforestation, pollution, and unsustainable agriculture. Despite early skepticism, his advocacy eventually earned him recognition as a forward-thinking pioneer in environmental conservation. Beyond the environment, Charles was passionate about architecture and urban planning. He openly criticized modern designs he deemed incongruent with Britain's historical and cultural heritage, sparking controversy but staying steadfast in his vision. Through the Prince's Foundation, he promoted sustainable urban development and traditional building methods. Charles's dedication extended to charitable work. In 1976, he founded the Prince's Trust to support disadvantaged youth, helping them develop skills and secure employment. This initiative has touched hundreds of thousands of lives, cementing his legacy as a committed philanthropist. Despite these accomplishments, public opinion about Charles remained polarized. His outspoken views, particularly on architecture and organic farming, were often dismissed as eccentric or elitist. Many questioned whether he was truly fit to become king, especially given the long shadow cast by Queen Elizabeth II's steady leadership and the public's enduring affection for Princess Diana. His marriage to Diana and their tumultuous relationship fueled doubts about his readiness to rule. Even his groundbreaking environmentalism, now widely embraced, was once considered unconventional. Charles's role as a father to Prince William and Prince Harry has been both a source of pride and challenge. After Diana's tragic death, Charles faced the dual task of grieving and raising his sons under intense public scrutiny. His bond with William was relatively stable, reflecting a shared commitment to royal traditions. However, his relationship with Harry grew increasingly strained, particularly after Harry stepped back from royal duties and moved to the U.S. Harry's public criticisms of the royal family, including remarks about Charles's parenting, deepened the family rift. Yet, Charles has largely refrained from engaging in the drama, signaling a commitment to royal neutrality. The relationship between Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles has long been a focal point of media scrutiny. Initially branded as the other woman, Camilla's public image gradually transformed as she took on active roles in charitable efforts and royal duties. By the time Charles ascended the throne in 2022, she had become Queen Consort, a position still met with mixed reactions, but reflecting her integration into the monarchy's future. The transition from Queen Elizabeth's reign to Charles's rule was marked by doubts. Critics questioned whether he, at 75, could handle the pressures of modern monarchy. Yet Charles has approached his new role with a steady hand, prioritizing tradition while addressing contemporary issues. His increased visibility at state functions and diplomatic engagements reflects a renewed commitment to his duties. Despite lingering skepticism, Charles's leadership style has grown more measured and focused, showing a monarch intent on preserving stability over pursuing radical change. Charles has also begun to reckon with the public's enduring affection for Diana. Her legacy continues to shape the monarchy, and Charles seems more willing to acknowledge her impact. His restrained response to ongoing family tensions further underscores his evolution toward a more traditional royal approach. At 75, Charles has embraced the weight of his role, balancing his personal passions with the responsibilities of the crown. His reign signals a new chapter for the monarchy, one shaped by both challenges and opportunities for growth. So, what do you think of King Charles? Let us know in the comments.